Why did I buy the Aputure 120D2? Now, before I talk about why I bought this particular light, we need to go on the journey of lighting for any new media company, videographer, person. Now, everybody always tells you, don't skimp on lighting. Don't skimp on lighting. Lighting is so important. Lighting's almost as important as lenses and more important than the camera. Well, you hear that, but if you're new and you don't have any money, you go on Amazon and you see there's lights for 50 bucks, 100 bucks, and you don't really understand spending hundreds of dollars on lighting. So I want to go through my journey when it comes to lighting. So the first light that I picked up was the newer, or the newer. I still don't know what that said, but it's the newer 660 LED kit, and it came in like two. And I think it is about maybe 180 bucks, 200 bucks, maybe $160 on sale. But it came with two lights, it came with two stands, bags, and you're like, oh, that's great. You get good lighting. And even for the novice, you're thinking that's a little expensive. But as we go down this list, we'll see that's a steal of a deal. Now, I bought these because, hey, every lighting's the same, which is not true, but that's what, if you're new, that's what we do. I currently have about 8 of these, and they're sitting on a floor in a closet that's not being used. So just keep that in mind. So if you were thinking $180 times 4, what is that? What is 180 times 4? So that's $720 that's sitting on the floor. But it's a great starter light, and I would highly recommend getting it if you don't have any money to spend and you're really on a budget. So the next light I progressed to, I don't have anymore because I gave it to a friend of mine, is the Sakani X60. I got 2 of these, and they're what I remember of them, they're great lights. They're studio lights, and they look like lighting that you would see on YouTube videos, but the fan noise in those things are horrendous. Those are about $150 a pop. So more expensive than the newers. Directional lights, I'm not a lighting guy, so I can't really tell you the technicals. And they're a great product, but the fan noise was horrendous. It was so bad that I was like, okay, I need to upgrade. So I had those for about maybe 3 months before I upgraded. So after the Sakanis, I picked up the 120D2. I picked up 2 of these. When I picked them up, I think they were about $600 a pop. And it was the first time I bought so-called expensive lighting. For somebody who's new to the business, $600 for a single light is crazy. You're like, that's insane. But then when you pick one of these up and you see the power and the control of lighting, I think for me at least, that was the beginning of like, oh, I get it. Now I understand why they said just buy the expensive light, pick up the 120D2. To me, I would reevaluate how I looked at lighting and say, this is the best starter light for a video guy. Now, I know in this progression of lists, it's like, oh, we've graduated to this. Well, looking back, to me, this is your first light you should pick up. I currently have 3 of these. Why do I have 3? It's a good question. I don't know. I think it's because when I picked them up for the studio, I was like, I'll have a light on the right, a right on the left, and a right in the middle. Notice how I'm not saying terms like key lights and fill lights and hair lights, because I don't know what that means to this day. But at that point in time, I thought I needed 3 lights, so I picked up 3 lights. I got the 3 mini light domes fixture form, which soft boxes for these things are imperative. But the reason I bought this was because the fan noise on the Sakanis. And then when I did start playing with these, it was like the whole new world, Disney World, Disneyland, whatever that, Disney, Aladdin? Yeah, whole new world. Anyway, so 120D2s to me, in my mind, is a really, really, really good starter light for a new video guy. 600 bucks, kind of steep, but you know what? Worth it. After I picked up those lights, I started doing events again, COVID, whatever. The events I did, I was like, you know what? I need some spotlights for these events, and I don't necessarily want to spend thousands of dollars for rental fees. That's why I picked up the Aputure 300D2. Now I picked up 2 of these, and the main reason I got these was for spotlighting at the event I do. Shout out to the event at the Virgin Hotel quarterly here in Dallas, Texas. With these, I have 2 Fresnel lenses that go in the front that really focus that light so it is on the stage. I'm not sure the output. I think these are like 10 to 1 more powerful than the 120s. Yeah, they're like 10 to 1 more powerful. So these puppies, I love these guys. If I could have 10 of them, I'd have 10. But then you'd ask, why do you have 10? I'd be like, I don't know, because I want them. They're such good lights. If you can afford picking these up over the 120s, I would say pick these up. The reality is, because they're 10 times brighter, they could still go down to a smaller, they could still go down to like lighter and dimmer. The downside, and maybe the upside for the 120s, is the 120s only need 1 V-mount battery. If I'm not mistaken, to run the 300s off V-mount, you need to have 2 batteries. Or maybe it's just that the 1 battery soaks it up too fast. I don't know. But again, the reason I bought this was because I like the 120s so much that I was like, if I like those, maybe I'll like this 300 times more. What's funny about the light progression is lighting is so important. And, you know, I have 3 of the 120s. I have 2 of the 300s. And eventually, I would love to pick up the 600s. I don't necessarily need the power of the sun, but that would be really freaking cool. Right, Paul? Wouldn't that be awesome? Again, because I'm such an Aputure fanboy now, and I regret spending so much money on BS lights that I never... There's literally a newer ring light sitting on the floor that's been used 3 times. Yeah, I still pull them out for events, but whatever. I also picked up the Aputure Nova 300 PC. What is it? P300C. P300C. Now that will obviously be cut to make me look like an idiot. I like it. I picked up the Aputure Nova P300C. Now this is a full RGB light. It's really powerful. Currently it's pretty much taken over the studio light where before I would have multiple apertures shining in. This just does 1 and it's amazing light. But you know, that one was like $1,900 with the case. And again, circling back to why did you buy this? And circling back to the beginning of this journey of, you know, not skimping out on lighting, is I wish I could afford to just immediately pick up 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those. They're amazing lights. And I think with lighting, I know you can't tell with this set because this is kind of, hey, random Wednesday afternoon, let's film something. But lighting really can shape the storytelling of what you're trying to portray. So after I picked up that, the P300C, the Nova, I ended up picking up 2 of the P60Cs, the Amaranth. Now, these are basically the exact same light as those earlier GVMs. The only difference is these guys are amazing. They link up to the Aputure Situs app. They're powerful, they're bright, and I just love these lights so much. I think they're $350. So we're back. So these are about $350 a pop. Now, Ryan, you said you would pick these over the GVMs. When the GVMs, you can get 3 for $350. Dollars. Well, again, I'm a fanboy now. So, but these to me are sexy. They're compact. They're well built. They can do anything you want with film or with lighting. They come with I think they come with barn doors. Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know. They at least come with the softbox. I know that for sure. So I picked up 2 of these and I love them so much that I actually ordered 2 more. But if you go to Amazon or you go to B&H right now, you'll see they're on back order. So these I've spent $1,500 for 4 of them. I think that's the math, but don't fact check me. So that's kind of the lighting journey and what I wanted this to be about. Of why did you buy this? And I know we talked a lot about thises, and it's mainly the 120, the 300, and then the Novas. And I can't stress enough about just invest in the lighting. Just do it! Like, skip the cheap stuff, skip the newers, skip the Sakanis, skip the GVMs. Whether you go to like a Godex or what's the other brand? What's that nice one? Ari Sky Panel. Like just spend the money to get nice gear, and I'll say that all the time. Just spend the money to get nice gear, especially with lighting, because lighting can help so much. Skip all the cheap stuff, because again, the reason I was trying to do so much pricing in this is just to show you, and maybe Paul in the edit will maybe do a running tally of wasted money, wasted dollars on stuff that we don't use anymore. Because again, like we talked about the newer lights, the Sakani lights, the GVM lights, we just don't use them. So anyway, hope that helps. If it didn't, yeah, whatever. You're probably not watching this long anyway. Paul, did I miss anything?
No, not at all.
You're like, oh, that's a shitty video. Okay, we'll see you next time.